everybody, we've made it all the way up to Fife in Scotland, and we've came all this way to meet Hamish. But Hamish knows a little bit more about home in Northern Ireland than he lets on. You lived there a little while?
A wee while, yeah. Seven or 8 years.
7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
Where are we? Because all I know is you look after the crops on this farm. Can you tell us a little bit about where we are and what is happening, please?
Yeah, so we're in the northeast of Fife at the minute. We're cutting rye at the moment for our anaerobic digester.
Yes.
Cutting about maybe 1,500 acres of rye this year. We have 2 foragers and a ruck of trailers.
1,500 acres, that's just a right bit.
It's a wee bit, yeah.
And where's that for? What's the end purpose of this rye?
So it'll be going back to the AD plant, which is at the farm at Peacehill. It'll be clamped for up to a year and fed into the anaerobic digester. I think it's around 60 tonnes a day. The plant running day to day is not actually my department, but that's fed in to produce gas, which goes to straight into the grid, and I think it's feeding about 4,000 homes along the northeast coast of Fife. Fantastic.
And when you say you look after the crops, like the crop manager, it's not just rye that you look after?
No, there's for the AD plant there's rye, spring barley, which we combine for the grain, and sugar beet or energy beet. That's basically varieties of sugar beet that are well suited to gas production. And then other crops, we've grown potatoes, about 220 acres, and veg, so broccoli, cauliflower, and there's 650 acres of veg this year. So between the AD crops and the veg, that'll be the mainstay.
So Peacehill Farm isn't just about the AD plant, there's the other side of vegetable growing crop as well.
Yeah.
And you're packing it up there? I was just up with Gary for a load there up to see around the silo, and I'm assuming that's pack houses because there seemed to be a lot going on.
We're not accredited to do final product into supermarkets, but we do sort of the stage just before that. So it's cut off the field and prepared in our shed, and then it goes to Kettle Produce. They're big packers for most of the big supermarkets here in Fife as well.
So ultimately, the crops that you're growing is working their way onto the supermarket shelves?
Yeah, in a very short space of time, fresh produce.
Where the farm is based, have I got this right? It's just overlooking the Tay estuary?
Tay, yep.
You're literally looking across into Dundee?
Yep, that's right.
And up and around the silo, well, the drive up to the farm is just phenomenal because you look over to your right and you see Dundee and you see all of the water, and then you go up into the silos and they're absolutely massive.
Yeah, big clamps, yeah.
I've never quite seen in the UK yet, and I'm sure it probably exists in other places, a clamping procedure quite like yours. There's a lot of effort goes into clamping and consolidating.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on there?
Well, there's 2 brock rakes that are pretty much flat out pushing up all the time, and there's 2 compactors as well. It's basically just to make sure, we need a really good consistent feedstock going into the AD plant every day. So that clamp has to be consistent. So, we'll put a big effort into that, and also to make sure we fit it all in. Because when we plant these crops, we don't know how they're going to yield. So we need to make sure we're fitting as much in that clamp as possible. So the first one was filled just a couple of days ago, and there's 11,500 tonnes in there, and we need to make sure we fit the rest in.
11,500 tonnes. Ryegrass. Why rye for the digester? Like, what's wrong with maize, or that's what a lot of these other guys are growing.
It's mostly down to climate, to be honest. We're too north really to grow successful maize crops up here. We're too far north. I know, it's all right today. I just don't think we have the day length, the heat really for maize. I think before my time here, the guys at Peacehill had grown some crops of maize. I don't know how much success they had, to be honest. But rye is a good, consistent crop in this climate. We're getting 20 tonne an acre crops, sort of 15 to 20 tonne an acre. Which is good. It's a good feedstock.
I'm not a crop man to your level, but years ago this would have been my job a little bit in the agronomy side, and you're cutting this rye, it's still relatively green. Is there is that for some green sugar from the leaf as well, or are you not wanting it too hard, or what's the?
We're wanting it, basically it's all about dry matter. So we want to be chopping as much of that acreage at 35% dry matter. So the grain's kind of just at that doughy stage.
Would you be concerned with the, sort of unseasonal dry spell that we're having? Would it be ripening in quick? Or we're okay?
We're all right at the minute. To be honest, we're kind of manned up enough with these guys to make sure we meet that target dry matter. So at the minute we filled clamp 1 and there's 11,500 tonnes. The average dry matter so far is 35.2. So we're on
and that's
the money.
bang on?
Yeah.
Is that a big tick?
Big tick there.
is that the Christmas bonus, sort of?
Well, maybe. I'll not take all the credit for that.
Do you do all the crop work yourself, or do you bring in outside help?
We do most of the crop work ourselves. There's a contractor, Ron Phillips contracting there, father and son team who help us out a lot. They're at Peacehill quite a lot, and they're doing a bit of cultivating, and aside from that, there's 6 full-time staff on arable.
Ron was showing us skills off earlier. He got beat pulling up the back hill there, and he turned it round and reversed it up.
Oh, right.
He was showing us
his favourite trick.
He was showing us his skills.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the cropping, Kevin looks after that side of it for you, or is that in conjunction with yourself, or how does that work here?
So Kevin Buttercase, who's the contractor for the rye chopping, so he's put in 2 foragers this year and has done since they started the AD plant. So yeah, he's brought in to take on the harvest. So 2 foragers and 5 trailers, and then the rest of the trailer team is made up from other contractors. Just it's a short 2-week period. We just pull guys in.
And
they quite enjoy it.
And there's 3 young lads over from home county, Fermanagh. They've their tractors over and they've joined in through Kevin, and they're operating here. They're having a whale of a time.
No, quite believe it. And when they're not at work as well.
So yeah, it's a short window. Once the rye's in, when does this ground get turned around?
If it's going back into rye, we'll maybe have 2 ryes back to back in the rotation. This will be sort of ploughed and sowed again in September.
Hamish, thank you very much for taking the time and telling us a little bit about Peacehill Farm. There's truly a lot going on, and hopefully we'll maybe get back at some of the cultivation time and see Ron doing his thing, because he likes to show us young boys how it's done, He
does.
Maybe Jimmy shows a few tricks too.
Yeah.
Well, look, thank you very much.
Good, no problem. Thank you.
Cheers, bud. Thank you.